Hi, it's Kiffin Obates here, and today I thought I'd talk a bit about the problem we have with language when people from different disciplines are talking about different things using the same word. And the word I want to focus on particularly today is the word transaction, because it means very different things to different people. So if we start off with just sort of ordinary everyday conversation, somebody might talk about a transaction as being engaging with somebody in conversation and discussing something. Another person may be talking about a commercial transaction where they pay for something and hand over some money. So those are sort of everyday uses of the word. But if you go into the computer world, you have transactions in the database world, which to DBA means an SQL DBA means that you're talking about an SQL statement that either adds, removes, or updates data in the database. Has a very specific meaning there. So for example, an SQL dump from an SQL database is basically a list of all the transactions that have historically taken place within that database. Now in blockchain, transaction has a slightly different meaning, which is related to the database one, in that it's about adding data to the blockchain, but the meaning of transaction there kind of combines the database sense of adding data, because of course on a blockchain you can't remove data, although you can put in a transaction that says that previous data should be ignored. Then it's up to all the other nodes whether they want to pay attention to that. But there's also the sense that in a token or a cryptocurrency or some kind of digital representation of an asset will be moving typically from one address to another or one person to another. So it's a subtle distinction, but it means that if you're a blockchain enthusiast and you're talking to a database enthusiast, you're not quite talking at the same level. It's a sort of general problem in language, I suppose, but it's worth keeping in mind that when in the blockchain world you're talking to somebody who's not familiar with what blockchains are, and you use a word as simple as transaction, it may have totally different connotations and meanings to the person you're talking to than it does to you. And it's worth keeping in mind that your perspective and their perspective may differ substantially. Anyway, just an observation that I hope some of you found interesting. And now that I'm walking into the dark, I'll say goodnight and see you in the next video soon. Bye for now.